10 factors that disrupt the balance of nature. Nature is like a mirror. If you smile it, it will smile you. If you get angry with it, it will get angry with you. People who provide all their needs from nature have started to use artificial and synthetic things in order to grow more products as a result of the increase in their numbers over time. The world has the capacity to provide enough products and blessings for 15 billion people. However, human beings found an excuse for this, as in everything else they do, and said, our goal is to grow enough crops for the growing population. People who used natural fertilizers before used artificial fertilizers later. People who traveled with horses and donkeys before traveled with vehicles using internal combustion engines later. As a result of humanity's using the artificial, the dynamics of the earth began to deteriorate, and the dynamics of the earth continue to be damaged. So what disturbs the balance of nature the most? 1. Firstly, artificial fertilizers disrupt the balance of nature. These artificial fertilizers not only affect the structure of plants, but also destroy the structure of living things that benefit from these plants. Of course, it mostly affects the structure of people who consume these plants in abundance. 2. Another factor that disrupts the natural balance is agricultural spraying. As a result of agricultural spraying, harmful chemicals accumulate in the soil and this harms other living things, so much so that these drugs have spread all over the world via water and even affected the living beings that live in the poles where there is no agricultural spraying. This is enough to show us how serious the incident is. 3. One of the most important factors affecting nature negatively is the chlorofluorocarbon gas used in the perfumery industry. As people spray perfume, gas spreads around, and these gases deplete the ozone layer, which consists of 3 molecules of oxygen and turns it into a 2-molecule oxygen atom. As a result of this depletion of the ozone layer, there is no protection from harmful rays coming from the sun. At the same time, this situation paves the way for the hot weather and melting of the polar ice caps. 4. Speaking of the warming of the air, an important factor in the continuation of the situation is the gases coming out of the burned fossil fuels. Maybe nature can clean the carbon dioxide emitted from these fuels, but nature cannot clean the carbon monoxide that comes out as a result of the burning of these fuels. As a result of the accumulation of this gas in the atmosphere, the greenhouse effect occurs, and this causes the air to warm up. At the same time, these gases cause the pouring rains to be acidic, which affects living beings negatively. 5. Vehicles working with internal combustion engines also affect nature negatively. The harmful gases emitted from these engines both cause the greenhouse effect and acidic rains. 6. Not using fillers in factory chimneys also affects the nature balance negatively. The toxic gases coming out of these chimneys harm nature. 7. The unconscious cutting of trees is the most important factor that disrupts the balance of nature. Both the cleaning of harmful gases is interrupted and the living spaces of animals are restricted. 8. The fact that some factories discharge their wastes into the sea is also an important factor that disrupts the natural balance. Living beings in the seas are damaged, which affects other living beings both directly and indirectly. 9. The use of plastics and similar materials, which take hundreds of years to disappear in nature, also affects nature negatively. 10. The use of electromagnetic waves, radio and television waves also disrupts the natural balance significantly. Exposure of living beings to these waves harms them.